Всем привет. Надеюсь, вы
Hello.
не сильно устали. У меня будет...
I hope you're not too tired. I'll have a very fast presentation.
Меня зовут Миняев Данила, я в аналитике данных.
I'm Danila Minayev. I've been working in the data analytics field for the past 5 years. I work for NGR Soft Lab right now. I'll tell you tonight how we've been using lightweight LLMs for analytical purposes on this cybersecurity front.
Наверняка вы уже неоднократно слышали основные проблемы, как
You must have heard of so many issues that information security and others analysts have. There's so many, data to blow through. You got to do it fast. You never have enough people. Modern LLMs are not too bad at doing that, but we wanted to make our life more difficult. That's why we chose lightweight LLMs. Let me explain what our definition for lightweight LLMs are. For us, lightweight is anything below 8 billion parameters. We chose lightweight LLMs because they're easy to deploy. You don't need a huge GPU cluster. Some of them can be run on a local machine, while the bigger ones will need a server, but you should be able to do it easily in your company. So once you've deployed it locally, you will be able to use your own data, which means that you can use your data securely and process it inside the perimeter, so to speak.
Теперь, собственно, самое интересное, по задачам поговорим, какие мы выбрали для того.
Now let's discuss what we have chosen.
Задач связан с анализом различных событий логов, поиска аномалий.
As a scope. Now we are doing analysis of DNS requests, log analysis, security event analysis, command line analysis, and also analysis of obfuscated PowerShell script and creation of YARA rules.
По моделям поговорили, теперь самое интересное, как это будем
Now that we've mentioned the models, let's look at the juice a bit, how we're going to do that. Now, we tried two things. One is the basic approach, and I guess you all know this one. Here we just, craft prompts for the 6 tasks I previously mentioned. Now we use prompts both in Russian and in English to see if there is a marked difference in dealing with different languages. Also, we took Docker Alamo container, and then we actually ran 20 models on it. And then we developed an automated pipeline for, processing the queries and collecting the answers. Now, the second avenue we checked out involved an MCP server, and it's more sophisticated. So we have this MCP talking to our CM system from Analytics, and, then we do the analysis, but that I'll cover later.
Что по итогу получилось? На слайде представлен пример успешного ответа.
Shown here is an example of a successful response. So we've been using command line analysis here. So most models we've been using seem to be quite good with that. So we are getting here a pretty detailed description of what's happening in the command line and recommendations about what we could do about it. Things are not that good, though. There are cases where the lightweight models are not that reliable. Take, for example, analysis of obfuscated PowerShell script. Most models we tried have not been able to decode base64 code and tell us what's inside. Some models tried, but they were a bit too creative with the results.
И прогнав этот бейзлайн, мы получили основные паттерны ответов моделей. В целом мы увидели, что модели...
Having checked this, baseline, we have discovered that models having fewer than 3 billion parameters are simply unable to identify patterns that are specific to information security, and they tend to hallucinate. There are two types of hallucinations they have. They will either creatively invent things that are not even there, and the second type of hallucinations is when the model, very confidently, as they often do that, will start telling you very sophisticated things about the world of information security that have got nothing to do with the code it's been analyzing, purportedly.
Какой итог получился?
Now, what's the outcome?
С использованием аналитиков eBay, наших экспертов, они оценили.
So we've involved our own information security analysts to do this expert assessment. And we also did some automated testing for which we engaged the well-known LLM as a judge approach, where you have one LLM judging the answers given by another LLM. So our top three are T-Lite, Russian language model, Gemma with 4 billion parameters, and the latest one, QN3 4B. It's a reasoning model, however, which means that it adds its chain of thoughts to its answers. So these three models, lightweight models, have shown pretty good quality. Remember, I previously said that we used Russian and English language prompts, and were able to show that Mistral 7B and Llama 3.18B were much better with English prompts. And Code-type Nano 1.5B was a very pleasant surprise. It was not as good as our top three, but given its size, it was surprisingly good. Now, this is it about the quality of the model output. Now, let's discuss something different. Let's discuss model performance. This slide shows the dependence between the model's speed and number of parameters. Now, what's the application of this slide? It shows that if you are choosing a model, you gotta consider how fast you want to have your response, whether you can afford a large model, time-wise and computation capacity-wise. But it's obviously the time chart that I'm showing here.
Ну и, конечно же, никуда без сводной таблицы производительности.
And how can I go without a comparative table? This one shows performance. Now, we have checked the quality of answers and the CPU and GPU time they take.
Один очень очевидный вывод, что на ГПУ...
So we have this obvious conclusion here that they certainly run much faster on GPUs than on CPUs, which should not really surprise you. But you know what? It's really funny that you can use a single GPU for 16 gigs to run most of the lightweight models. You don't really need a cluster of GPUs for that.
Простые вещи разобрали, теперь чуть-чуть посложнее работать с MCP.
Okay, we've talked about the simple scenario. Let's discuss the more complex one, the one involving an MCP server. Back in 2024, Anthropic announced the Model Context Protocol. So MCP is a protocol that enables models to invoke tools and address various resources. So we tried developing an MCP server leveraging this protocol, and such a server is taking data from our Alertix CM system. So LLM analyzes queries, MCP server summons the tools, and LLM will then do its analysis with them. Our experiments have shown that Gemma and Quen are the stablest models in terms of using MCP tools. So these two models have proved to be best in such a scenario, where LLMs are used together with external tools. Now let's look at advantages and constraints. In order to deploy a lightweight model, you don't really need a lot of equipment. Another advantage of a lightweight model is that if you're running them in a container, you can actually deploy many of them. So you can have one model do one job for you and another one focus on a different one. You can run them in parallel, you can run them in an ensemble, so it's good for practical purposes.
Также у моделей есть ограничения у этих, то есть они
Naturally, models have got their own limitations.
в более технических задачах.
You know, in the more technical jobs, particularly those related to writing YARA rules, they are pretty simplistic. Like they give you a template, and this template can save you like 15 or 20 minutes, and you still have to do a lot of work.
И в качестве финальных выводов, если
So my final conclusions,
развернуть у себя, то и
if you want to deploy all that,
лучшего качества модели T-Lite, Gemma и Qwen,
go for T-Lite, Gemma, and QN models if you want the best quality.
и логов,
They are best when it comes to event analysis and log analysis. Just a tad worse when it comes to technical jobs.
решения, про которые я рассказал, можно развернуть у себя.
Now, everything I've covered can be deployed locally easily.
Хороших
So all you gotta do is develop the right prompts. They gotta be detailed. This is really important. The better you explain to the model what you want done and what the results should look like, the better the results will be. That should not be surprising, but that's a really important factor.
будем формировать.
Now we will continue such studies where we'll develop AI agents, and we'll also continue playing with MCP servers.
На этом у меня все. Спасибо.
That's it for me. Thank you very much.
Да, Данила, спасибо большое.
Yes, thank you very much, Danila.
С такой лазейкой, что
I want to use this opportunity.
являются смолтолком, и я
You know, questions by the MCs are considered small talk.
на которых вы проверили модельки.
So you've shown us a number of tasks where you tested your model. Shall I show the slide? No, it's fine.
Какой объем
I'm wondering,
задачи или в совокупности
what was the volume of examples
какая-то моделька работает?
per task that you used in order to assess the performance of the models?
Примеры проверили, то есть если там
We tried different examples.
примеров, там 5-10 разных примеров под каждую из задач, то есть в целом они там достаточно достойно, так скажем.
Since the the kind of tasks we gave were pretty diverse. I think we had like 5 of each. It's not like we had a huge data set,
С разных сторон зашли, то есть даже для
but we did test different things.
проанализировал.
So for the same kind of task, for example, we'd analyze different command lines.
Она отвечает
We also tested the robustness of it all.
Круто.
It's like what it does when the context is changed.
Как бы сами глазками смотрели уже лучше на там свой вкус.
Или
And you also did some expert assessment, right?
вывод, чтобы его сравнивать с чем-то, или другие LLM-ки для оценки сравнения.
Did you use only expert assessment or other LLMs? We actually did both. One was manual assessment. We are grateful to our analysts. And we also use LLM as a judge, where we have a judgment by any of the,
И вторая
publicly available bigger model.
список из наших 20 моделей.
And then we can contrast it with the candidate model out of our list of 20.
Оценку.
So we give both of them the same prompt,
Совсем нерелевантный ответ 2.
and then we ask them to judge the responses on a scale from 1 to 5, where 1 is totally relevant.
Сравнили, что на
So
самом деле эти подходы коррелируют.
we checked both systems, and we even did a Pearson coefficient on them.
Нет, но
There
увидели,
is
что
no
у нашей аналитики оценивают ответ как хороший, то и в
there
целом
is no causal relationship to that. I understand that, but the correlation was high
в довершении
between the judgments given by experts and LM as a judge.
существуют библиотеки автоматизированные наподобие
There are, in fact,
слышали.
automated libraries out there, such as Debevel.
Смысл там и использовать ее, ну, либо в таком в простом формате, как вот мы с промптом.
Понял. Спасибо большое. Давайте еще раз.
But we did the simple way through prompts.
Вышел замечательно.
Great, thank you very much. Let's applaud Danila.
В кулуарах, чтобы пообщаться с ним.
Make sure you talk to him off stage if you have questions. But we are letting you go. Thank you very much.